Hey guys, I haven't done any powerlifting for quite a while now. In fact, it's been a little over a year to the day since I broke my jaw prepping for my last powerlifting meet. Right, I've been full on bodybuilding mode for the last year now, and I just wanted to share with everybody kind of how I've revamped my training. Right, even a 51-year-old can learn new tricks. And I wanted to, like I said, share with you guys how I've revamped all of my bodybuilding training. So let me rewind this for you guys, go back to the beginning. The biggest thing that you'll notice that I've been doing is really slow eccentrics. Everything that I safely can, I go slow on the way down. These pin presses here, I drive it up slow on the way down. That's been my focus, is really slow eccentrics for, like I said, the better part of a year now. Slow on the way down, right? And I mean, it doesn't work for everything. I can't really do that with squats per se, but here on these upright rows, just drive it up, slow on the way down, slow on the way down, fight it, drive it up, slow on the way down. And then the second thing you're going to see is I've been pausing at the full eccentric of all of my repetitions. And here's my thinking behind that, right? We all know that the connective tissues and the muscles themselves, they're very, very spongy, and they have a certain amount of elasticity to them. And they're literally kind of like little bungee cords in a way. And so with traditional repetitions, you come down to the bottom, and those connective tissues and the muscles, they kind of stretch a little bit. They kind of get a little bit of a rebound. That kind of helps you on the concentric portion, right? Well, if you're pausing at the bottom, that dissipates, that energy dissipates, and you have to use the muscle that you're intending to work to get that load moving again, right? So here, this is arguably my favorite delt exercise right now. I call it a cross body cable lateral raise, but pause right there. Fire it up, come right back down, pause at the very, very end. Make this delt, get that load moving again, and let whatever energy is in there just totally dissipate and make that delt fire it again. So the cables here, I really like the cables because the cables are pulling laterally out this way, right? And this way. And so that's where the majority of the resistance is right off the bat. Once we're out here toward the top, it's not quite as much, but when it's pulling laterally, that's where all the resistance is, right? And then you'll see here, something I'll talk about in future vlogs. I've been doing a lot of post-failure partials. Some people call them lengthened partials. I call them post-failure because they're basically those hard repetitions after you've failed, right? So then that's predominantly my delt dominant day, okay? However, my delt training in totality is on 2 different days. So this is a different day here. And here I'm using dumbbells, right? And the dumbbells, where's the resistance on the dumbbells? It's mostly at the top of the movement, right? Up here is where it's the heaviest, where all of the resistance is, right? So I'm kind of getting that delt from both ends, the resistance all the way down where the muscle is stretched, and then I'm getting it again up at the top with a different exercise when the muscle is contracted and all the resistance is up there. So I'm kind of working it from both ends of the muscle, I guess you might say, or both ends of the chain. But here again, I'm going to rewind here a little bit. I'm going to beat a dead horse, drive it up, control it back down, pause. Drive it up, control it back down, pause, right? And that's been my big strategy over the last year or so. Now here, you're going to see that I lose my focus, you guys. I'm doing these post-failure partials, and I forget to pause on this very next repetition. My intent is to pause, but it's challenging. And I lose my focus, and I forget to pause, and I go right back to it again. I compose myself afterward, but that happens a fair amount with me. I panic and I forget what I'm doing. And it's like I lose my focus for just that split second. It burns, and right back into it. And right there, that little bit of stretchery, that stretch of the connective tissues just helped me out of that one. But I managed to get my composure and finish it off. So that's delt training right now. I'm going to share these clips with you as I kind of talk about Brad's reasoning for being here. But here again, you can kind of see slow on the way down, pause, drive it up, slow on the way down, pause, let all that connective tissue in the pec, and in the shoulder just dissipate, and then make that pec muscle drive it back up, right? You can almost kind of envision it in a way how everything stops there in the shoulder joint, right? But, really what I want to share with you guys here is why is Brad here? Brad hasn't been here in a long time, right? And essentially, I've been kind of afraid, to be honest with you. I mean, social media is kind of a scary thing anymore. And I've wanted to, I've tried, but just been scared, just been afraid to. And this week is, as you guys know, I'm kind of a Jesus freak, and so the liturgy's been speaking to me, and it's been calling me. And specifically this week is today, as I reviewed the liturgy, it's the story of Jesus walking on the water, right? He's told the 12 disciples, I want you to get in that boat and row across the way to the Sea of Galilee to the other side. And, they get caught in a storm, and, the boat's getting tossed around, and pretty soon they see Jesus walking on the water towards them, right? And they get scared. They're like, oh my God, it's a ghost. And Jesus says, you know what? Don't be afraid. It's I. And Peter, Peter's the one that's got the most faith in Jesus. He's like, Lord, if it's you, call me to come out to you and walk on the water. And, Jesus basically says, come. And the thing that calls me is that Peter's got the guts to get in the water. He sees Jesus, he trusts Jesus, and he gets in the water, right? And that takes courage. I mean, he was the only one that did it. Now, we all know the story. Jesus is right there. As soon as Peter takes his eyes off of Jesus and he loses focus, then, he starts to sink, right? Because he takes his eyes off of Jesus. But Jesus is right there. He plunges his hand in the water and grabs Peter and pulls him up and saves him, right? But this is the liturgy that's been speaking to me all week. Real brief story. There's a Canaanite woman. She's not Jewish. She's basically what they call a Gentile. She comes to Jesus and she says, Jesus, please, heal my demon-stricken daughter. And Jesus basically denies her. And he says, you know what? He says, the food is for the children. We don't give the food to the dogs, right? Speaking of saving the Jews, right? But this woman, she persists. She's just like, she bugs Jesus. She's like, you know what? Even the dogs get the scraps from the table. And Jesus, he's testing her, right? He's testing her. He says, you know what, woman, your faith is strong, and your daughter's healed. Go about your business. And she, she persisted. And this week, it's like Old Testament, New Testament. It's just calling me. It's saying, Brad, get in the water. You know what? Just try. I mean, look at what I'm doing here, guys. Not very technological, right? But I'm sharing with you guys what I've been doing. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and God willing, and Brad persists, right? Brad persists and gets in the water and stays. Then I'll be around for a little bit sharing with you guys. So, till next time, take care. Bye bye.